Hello, welcome. I'm your host, and we got one more story out of this volume of Modesty, Blaise stories. This last one's called The Zombie, and it presents a kind of interesting scenario. And so we're probably going to talk about that the most. But let me show you this artwork. Like, look, this is just like some dudes having a meeting, and it's actually got some really tight artwork in it. Like if modern Marvel books where people are just going out and having, you know, tea or coffee or whatever looked this good, people would not complain so much. Every one of these panels is the villains are meeting to discuss their plot. Looks great. So here's the setup. We got this wheelchair-bound evil professor. In fact, they just call him the professor and Marianne. Um, and his whole deal is he thinks human emotion will destroy the world, and so he's trying to build supercomputers that can control the world. He's the head of a evil organization. He's got minions, and those minions are all believers in his cause. To fundraise for their evil organization, instead of you know getting like Bill Gates to give him money, they commit crimes, and to raise lots of money, they're selling drugs. That is their motivation. That's what they're discussing here at the beginning of the story. So they're trying to move into this dude. I think his name was Dave Goss. Trying to move into his territory. Well, he's a friend of Modesty Blaise. So when these goons show up, guess who's there to foil them? So he's like out in the woods trying to buy a horse, taking the horse for a ride and stuff. He has Modesty Blaise ride the horse. The dudes show up. They try to deal with him. Gonna strangle him with piano wire right there, and she stops it. She's got a dude with him. I forget his name. Um, oh, you can't even see him. Danny. Yeah, Danny. Oh, never mind. It's right there. Danny Shavas. And she's like there, banging him. He used to work for her, still does, something like that. And his whole thing is charming women. So you can kind of see where this is going because the bad guys, let me go back to the meeting. Oh, look, one of the head bad guys, the daughter of the evil professor, right there, see? So now you can kind of see where it's going, right? They foil that attack. So to keep Modesty Blaise from getting into their business again, they kidnap the Danny dude and take him back to their evil lair. And you can see, like, this strip, it's a newspaper strip, and it takes every opportunity it can get to show a little skin, which is being used to American comic strips is kind of weird. So now Danny being held hostage by the villains, but he's putting on, he's putting his skills to work on her. So now it becomes a rescue mission. Modesty has to go in, rescue Danny, and to do that, she's got to get call in some favors, get some of the crew back together so her and Willie Garvin can have a plan. They talk to their friend who's in the British government. He knows the guy who owns the estate where the bad guys are camped out at. And so, through various connections and stuff, they arrange a big distraction. They plan their masterstroke, their heist. They execute it. Stuff gets crazy. And it ends with a beautiful farewell. I guess that's the end of all Modesty Blaise stories. Because when I looked at the very back of the book here, this book is the very last one. So I don't know if there's more Modesty Blaise stories out there or not, but it was good. It wasn't as good as The Killing Game. That story had me like super tense, and I could not put it down once I got invested in it. Like I had like one little session where I read the first two pages, and then I just devoured the rest of it the next time I was reading. This one I read over the course of several days, reading it here and there when I had a few minutes. Excuse me, I seem to be losing my voice. When I had a few minutes, it was gorgeous. The action was good. The pacing was great. The writing was super tight. These two fine people need to be applauded because this stuff is absolutely fantastic. I don't know anything else about this character. I don't know what the other Modesty Blaise stories are like, but these three stories are really good. Uh, this strip, back when newspapers were cheap, like the daily newspaper cost like a quarter or something, a good strip like that was worth the quarter every day to get the newspaper in so you could read it. This is a whole different world back in the day with newspaper strips and syndicates and all that. A world that doesn't exist anymore, really. But this is really high quality stuff. I guess that's all I'm trying to get at. Like from back in the day when the world of newspaper strips was super competitive, this would have been a great strip. The skin that they show would have kept it out of American newspapers. I don't ever remember seeing this one when I was a kid, but I'm glad I picked this book up a couple years ago, and I'm even gladder that I finally got around to reading it. And my only regret is I didn't read it sooner. You all take care of yourselves. You have a great one. Hope to see you again next time. Until then, bye bye.